You'll notice that the Orc used a speed scroll, which was mostly wasted. It does allow his Blade Master to escape. Winner sending his Demon Hunter to chase it is probably a mistake. I think you should probably bring that back. He will bring it back soon enough. Anyway, now with his Talons, he's going for the Grunts, which of course is what you want to do. Grunts take extra damage, and that should be your priority. But also, look at how he uses the Cyclones. When the Torn Chieftain gets in what looks like a good position, he just Cyclones it. Now he got a partial surround on it, and I think it was a very wise decision by Fly to TP there, because I think he would have gotten his Torn Chieftain surrounded there. Um, anyway, what happened there was that in the middle of the battle, the Master Training finished, and that's why you didn't see shockwaves in the first part of the battle. Um, Otherwise, there would have been more of them. Now, let me talk about items. First of all, Orb of Venom. Orb of Venom is necessary because, like I said, your Demon Hunter is the centerpiece of your army, but a Demon Hunter's melee, it won't get to attack lots of units many times in succession. If you can put that Orb of Venom damage, it's like 70 damage on 3 or 4 different units. That's a huge damage output from just like 3 or 4 hits. That is definitely worth it. Your Demon Hunter is more likely to be able to be attacking 3 or 4 units anyway. It's a very, very good item. The best orb, in my opinion, is better than the Orb of Corruption. And you need to get one. Some people even get 2, one for the Tinker. I think that's overkill. You don't really need one on the Tinker, but I mean, 1 is enough. I don't think they stack. They don't stack, I'm pretty sure. I think I've checked that before. Also, invuln pots are necessary. You must get an invuln pot. That is important. Because your Demon Hunter is going to be bearing the brunt of that focus fire from your opponent. And you'll see it, if I recall correctly, you'll see that in this battle, although the battle is a little slow to start. Don't put your Pocket Factory out there, by the way. Your Pocket Factory needs to be protected. Make sure you should put it, ideally not behind your units, but in an area that your units can easily get in front of if necessary to protect the Pocket Factory. Yeah, there's no reason to lose it. And also, just a comment, I'm pretty sure that Winner's got a XP tome from that camp. So, good drop there. Now, notice once again that the Demon Hunter is putting damage on lots of different units. It's already gotten 4 units attacked with that Venom. Meanwhile, these Talons are getting in a little bit of a bad position, though. Don't send your Talons way out from your army. Micro your Talons a little better than Winners is doing here. It's very difficult to do so because, I mean, I know I can play the mass Talon strategy with a little bit of success, but against a good player I would lose because I can't micro the Talons well enough. It's very difficult. You have 3 heroes to deal with. Your opponent is trying to shockwave your Talons and focus down your heroes, and you have to really split your attention. But, in my opinion, pay a little more attention to the Talons than Winners did here. Anyway, there goes the invuln pot. So, what you see is that Fly got an invuln pot in his Blade Master, which is also an essential item. And Winners really needed that invuln pot. He could have done with another one, too, for his Beastmaster. The Orc has a lot of units in the area. He'll have peons. It's very easy for him to get us around. Putting down that Pocket Factory, by the way, was a big mistake. And now Winners is getting his Talon jacked. So, not a mistake-free game by any means. But, what's going on here is that Winners is getting some hero levels. He's got a level, I believe his Beastmaster is level 3, yeah. So, Talons are all about heroes. If your heroes are superior to your opponent's heroes, you will win with good micro. If your opponent's heroes are superior, you still have a chance, and that's why a lot of people think the Talons are unbalanced or imbalanced or whatever. But you will really have to fight hard in order to get the win if your heroes are inferior. So, creeping is a good thing, but you have to put pressure on your enemy, and most of your hero levels need to come from the kills on your opponent's units. If you creep too much, you don't have time. You don't put enough pressure on the Orc. The Orc will get a big army and destroy you. Also, the Orc will creep. The Orc is definitely going to be creeping, if at all possible, in order to get that Torn Chieftain to level 5. A level 5 Torn Chieftain is just scary. And I can't remember if in this game we see a level 5 Torn Chieftain or not, but in one of these games we see good shockwave avoidance by the elf player. So it's especially important when the TC is level 3, but it's level 5, but level 3, even at level 3 or 4, it's now at level 4, I think, no, still level 3. It's important. Notice that Fly has gotten a mana pot on the Tauren Chieftain. And this is not what you want to see as the Night Elf. You know, you're already using your mana burns on the Tauren Chieftain. Ideally, you would, ideally you're watching for that mana pot to go off. You're keeping track very carefully of the Tauren Chieftain's mana, and so you know exactly when to burn it. I mean, if you're good enough, I suppose count the seconds of the shockwave cooldown, because that's when the next one is going to come. And if there's needs to be mana potion, there you go. There's a good shockwave dodge. But unfortunately, okay, almost getting his Demon Hunter surrounded there. His Demon Hunter is a bit out of position, but he is still using it to put some damage on those units, and it's not being focused. Notice that the one thing is to keep your Quill Beasts. Try to keep your Quill Beasts out of the way of, for example, the Cyclone units. You want to make the Orc use a different dispel on everything. So, I mean, it's very hard because there's so, the dispel area is so big. But if you can make the Orc position the dispel, that's also good. Don't let the Orc just dispel everything at once. So, for example, don't keep your Hawk right next to your Pocket Factory. Although there are now no walkers left. And Fly gets to level 5 and is killing a lot of Talons with that Blade Master. But one thing that I think he should realize is that when there are no walkers left, it's the Night Elf's battle. And here, his Tauren Chieftain gets surrounded. And hold on, I've got to slow this down. Tauren Chieftain got surrounded. There are no walkers, nothing to, Spirit Link or anything. And that was just the luckiest last hit ever. Okay? Yeah. Definitely. So, I think that may have won Winners the game. He killed the Blade Master. I mean, and what this amounts to is Fly stuck around too long with no walkers. He had no Spirit Link. He had no way to defend himself against Cyclones should they have happened. That is a mistake almost always. If you have no walkers and you're the Orc, it's not your battle anymore. Get out. TP if you have to, but just make sure you get out. And now, level 2 Tinker. Let's look at the little chart. There you go. 577 damage to buildings. That's a pretty serious threat when it comes up into your base. Alright? It's going to be level 3 soon, and that's doing even more. That's, 781. By the way, those numbers were just from one test, so they're not like anything. Don't really trust the third digit of precision there, or even the second. But that should give you a general idea on how much damage this Pocket Factory can do. And this is exactly what Winners is thinking. Unfortunately, he gets his Tinker sort of out of position. He ends up having to put a bad Pocket Factory down in the Orc's territory. That's not where you want to put the Pocket Factory. But he does, meanwhile, put a lot of damage on the Tauren Chieftain. Now, he's trying a little too hard, in my opinion, to go for the Tauren Chieftain. If the heroes are low, just let them be low. That means they're out of the battle. Don't necessarily try to chase them around. So, I think instead of using his Demon Hunter to do that, he should be using it to put Venom on all the units. Now these Talons should just kill the burrow. And let's see, Fly is at 34 population right now. Winners is at 40. Winners can build up his population very fast because Talons are so fast to produce. So he's in a dominant position in this game. And basically, he got there through that Blade Master kill through good management of his units during both battles, all 3 battles at this point, and also just by having the superior heroes, and that's what you need to do. Somehow he got a Talon stuck out here. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, generally don't waltz your Talons onto the other side of the trees. Yeah, superior hero levels are a big deal here. He also has the Claws of Attack on his Demon Hunter. Claws, Circlet, and he had a Gloves of Haste, but that's not as useful as the Potion of Invulnerability that he's getting now. Remember, Invuln Pots are good. And at this point, he had them in previous battles too, but I forgot to comment on them. Healing Scrolls. Healing Scrolls are essential against Shockwave, especially against the higher level Shockwave, which he's going to be facing very soon. A Healing Scroll doesn't undo an entire Shockwave, but if you don't have a Healing Scroll, your Talons will die in, I believe, 2 level 3 Shockwaves. I'm not absolutely sure about that, but I think that's right, and maybe with some extra damage from the unit.